Welcome back to the deep dive. We are here to take a truly chaotic mountain of information, everything from aggressive marketing to terrifying legal disclaimers, and distill it down into the core knowledge you need.
That's the plan.
Today, we are undertaking a deep dive into what might be the most bizarre, ethically confusing, and dangerously over-engineered consumer product in recent memory. AI SLOP by Metagobble Global.
That's right. Our mission today is really to get a handle on this product. It's being marketed as, well, the ultimate food source.
The ultimate.
Yeah, but at the same time, it carries warnings that you'd normally see on, I don't know, volatile industrial chemicals. It's something else.
So this isn't just some new health fad, then?
Oh, not at all. This is really a case study. You've got technological hubris, this idea of mandatory dependency, and some serious legal sleight of hand all rolled into one.
And the sources we're drawing from. It's a wild mix, isn't it?
It really is. We're synthesizing a truly wild stack for you.
We've got, what, a high-gloss promotional ad that sounds almost like science fiction?
Like a manifesto, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have these very dry, mandatory consumption advisories.
And user testimonials. That,
Mm-hmm.
well, they don't sound like reviews. More like religious conversions.
Exactly. Plus, there's serious news coverage about regulatory bans sweeping across countries.
Uh-huh. And a bizarre contest. Something about a pyramid.
A multi-level marketing contest, yeah. And maybe the scariest part, this incredibly aggressive end-user license agreement. They actually call it a covenant.
A covenant for food.
For food. We've never seen anything quite like it attached to something you're supposed to eat every day.
Wow. Okay. So the hook here, the real tension.
It's the sheer cognitive dissonance. You've got the marketing presenting AI SLOP as the supreme food source, 100% synthesized, designed for perfect optimization.
But the fine print.
The fine print warns you about, well, amnesia, convulsions, losing your teeth, apparently.
Dental exfoliation, I think was the term.
That's the one. And it mandates this dependency, this state the users themselves call metanoia.
Metanoia, okay.
So we really need to analyze how Metagobble Global is trying to legally mandate this level of personal risk. It's extraordinary.
Okay, let's dive in. Let's unpack the product itself. Starting with Metagobble Global's big vision, they clearly weren't aiming for just another meal replacement shake.
No, definitely not. The press release is very emphatic. AI SLOP is, quote, completely envisioned and designed by advanced AI engineers.
AI engineers designed the food.
Yes, and it's positioned as the culmination of nutritional science and absolute durability.
Okay, absolute durability. What does that actually mean for the product's identity? What is it?
It means they're basically claiming they've leapfrogged all previous ideas about nutrition. The product's core identity, its taxonomy, is 100% synthesized sustenance.
Synthesized sustenance.
Right. The goal is total nutritional completeness in one single substance. It's designed to solve all the problems of traditional food. Logistics, biology, spoilage, stability.
So it's meant to be the only thing you ever need to eat.
That's the claim. The only thing.
And not just for humans. This is the really wild part, isn't it? The multi-species angle.
Yes, the cornerstone of their marketing. The tripartite triumphs.
Tripartite triumph sounds very grand.
It's the ultimate expression of their, well, audacity. AI SLOP is designed as a single, complete dietary source for humans,
Okay.
cats, and dogs, simultaneously, from the same box.
Wait, humans, cats, and dogs, how is that even possible biologically?
Exactly. Think about it. Cats are obligate carnivores. They need specific things like taurine, arachidonic acid, stuff found almost entirely in animal tissue.
Right.
Humans and dogs were omnivores. Our systems are way more flexible, but still very different from each other, and vastly different from cats.
So creating one substance that's supposedly optimal for all three.
It implies a leap in molecular engineering that is, frankly, almost unbelievable. They're essentially claiming they've conquered comparative biology.
Wow. And the marketing language, I get that reflects this.
Yeah.
This level of hyperbole.
Oh, completely. It avoids practical terms almost entirely.
Yeah.
They label the product, and this is a direct quote, the transcendental panacea of nanofabrication.
Good grief.
And they talk about its purpose with phrases like a multificability of monocircuitous sustenance.
What does that even mean?
Who knows? It's designed to sound incredibly advanced, incredibly sophisticated, while telling you almost nothing specific. It's all about escaping the lugubrious specter of old-fangled nutrition.
Old-fangled nutrition, like vitamins.
Apparently. They want you to cast aside your carking concerns, another one of their phrases, about feeding Fido the same stuff as Fluffy. AI SLOP just handles it all.
I did see a mention of the ratiocinate minds of the metaparadoxiality division, so very smart people involved, supposedly.
Supposedly, ratiocinate minds, yes.
But when these ratiocinate minds designed this tripartite triumph, what did they actually come up with? What does it look like? What does it taste like?
Well, this is where the high-flying jargon kind of crashes back down to earth. The aesthetic. It's described in the advisories, quite plainly, as a palatable green slime with red chunks.
Palatable green slime with red chunks.
Visually, yeah, you're looking at a dense, sort of semi-viscous green matrix, and it has these little cuboid red chunks floating in it.
Cubes. Red cubes and green slime.
Cuboid red chunks, yes.
Yeah.
And the composition is very intentional. It's designed for visual consistency and psychological acceptance.
That's a noble goal for green slime with red chunks. Psychological acceptance.
Indeed. And the flavor profile matches the aesthetic ambition. It's called functional neutrality.
Functional neutrality doesn't exactly scream delicious.
No. The base green slime is just described as mildly savory. Basically inoffensive, but definitely not enjoyable.
Okay. And the red chunks?
Crucially, the firm red chunks are there specifically to add a familiar musky flavor and some textural contrast.
Musky. A familiar musky flavor. What does that even taste like?
It's vague, isn't it? That musky flavor seems to be the only real nod to any kind of sensory experience. It's all calculated for, like, mechanical consumption, not pleasure.
But hang on. If you're creating the ultimate food source, the pinnacle of AI-driven nutritional science, why settle for mildly savory and musky? Why didn't the ratiocinate minds engineer something amazing?
Because, according to the sources, the goal isn't sensory pleasure. It's mechanical efficiency and absolute nutritional control.
Control.
Yeah. They explicitly state that the flavor profile is precisely calculated to prevent sensory fatigue during long-term monotonous consumption.
So, they don't want it to taste too good.
Exactly. If it tasted great, you might overeat. Or worse, you might develop some kind of emotional connection to the food, which could distract you from optimal performance, I guess.
Optimal performance.
Right.
Functional neutrality isn't a bug, it's a feature. It reinforces the whole idea that this is a synthetic necessity, not some kind of culinary choice you make. It's fuel. Wow, okay. So beyond just being food or sustenance, you mentioned durability. This stuff has other functions.
Oh, absolutely. The audacity of AI slop really hits you when you realize its function goes way beyond just eating it. The engineers designed it for absolute durability and utility that, honestly, pushes it far beyond what we normally think of as food.
Okay, let's start with the big one for logistics, for survival maybe. Centennial stability. That comes from the AI-driven molecular engineering.
That's the claim. This is a core selling point. The sealed product is certified safe for storage for at least 100 years at room temperature.
100 years.
100 years. The molecular structure, supposedly designed by these advanced AIs, prevents the usual biological and chemical breakdown that happens with, normal food.
So no spoilage.
None. The marketing actually boasts that the product laughs in the face of anachronism. It basically defies the whole concept of an expiration date.
Okay, 100-year shelf life. That actually is a huge engineering feat. I mean, you can see the appeal for emergencies, for long-term storage, supply chains.
It could be a genuine humanitarian solution in that sense, yes. Yeah. And the durability extends to temperature, too. Sources confirm it has extreme temperature stability that will not freeze or be damaged by extreme cold.
So you can store it anywhere, Arctic, desert, doesn't matter.
Pretty much. It simplifies the logistics incredibly. It comes in this rigid, resealable plastic box, clearly labeled, complete sustenance for humans, canines, and felines.
Yeah.
Ready to sit in a bunker for a century.
A bunker seems appropriate, but the utility, it goes from just logistically interesting to kind of genuinely terrifying, right? Let's talk about the bioluminescence. It glows.
It glows. This is maybe the strangest feature for something you eat. The slop itself is infused with some non-toxic, food-safe compound.
Food-safe glow compound.
Apparently. And it makes the contents glow in the dark for up to 12 hours after being exposed to light.
Why?
It's marketed as a hands-free emergency light source. They call it illumination for impunity.
Impunity?
Yeah, the ad suggests it's useful for surreptitious or hugger-mugger activities.
Hugger-mugger activities. So like sneaking around in the dark, using your glowing green slime as a flashlight.
That seems to be the idea. It really speaks to this almost dystopian survivalist mindset in the design philosophy. It's odd.
Definitely odd. Okay, what else? There was something about fuel.
Yes. Emergency fuel capability. Because of the high concentration of synthetic, energy-dense compounds. Yes, the sources confirm AI slop can literally be burned. as emergency fuel for heat.
You can burn your food for heat.
Metagobble calls it a Herculean feat of thermoelectrics and metamorphistical energy. It's apparently designed to be used directly in generators.
So, you're in a crisis situation. Do you eat the slop to survive, or do you burn the slop to stay warm or power something?
That's the definitive existential choice they've built right into the product. It's a terrifying level of maximizing utility above all else. A moral quandary in a box.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? Agricultural use.
Right, the tertiary utility, agricultural utility. If you dilute it with water, the synthesized nutrient base apparently makes an efficient all-purpose liquid fertilizer.
So it feeds people, cats, dogs, and plants.
Maximum MPK and micronutrients, the whole deal.
Yeah.
It nourishes the population, animal and human, and if needed, it nourishes the crops that might feed them too. It's total systemic integration.
And one last detail that really screams artificial, the environmental interaction part.
Correct. Because it's purely artificial, its chemical composition doesn't attract flies, ants, or cockroaches.
Pests don't recognize it as food.
Exactly. Because it's so far removed from anything found in nature. It reinforces that later ULA claimed that the product exists in a state of SES, meaning it exists entirely within its own engineered reality, totally isolated from the natural world. No flies allowed.
Wow. Okay, so we have this incredibly durable, multifunctional, glowing, burnable pest repellent slime.
That feeds you, your pets, and your garden.
But the paradox deepens here, because actually eating this robust substance is governed by incredibly fragile, non-negotiable rules. This is where the promises meet the warnings head-on.
This is the fine print that completely changes the game. The consumption advisories make one thing crystal clear, and it's in all caps in the source material. The big one. Critical warning. Do not combine or eat with other foods or beverages. No exceptions. Ever.
It's an absolute mandate. A required monocircuitous victual source. That's their term.
Monocircuitous victuals.
The rationale given is that AI SLOP is this precise interlocking system of nutritional inputs. If you combine it with anything else, regular food, soda, even just water, you risk causing a severe nutritional imbalance.
Which could trigger the side effects.
Exactly. And the ELA, which we'll get to, later clarifies that mixing it with anything, and they actually list examples like water, pie, peach, beef, or pineapple, is a fundamental breach of contract.
Mixing it with a peach is a breach of contract.
Yes, because it demonstrates the user's failure to ratiocinate. A failure of logical thought, according to Metagobble.
That is astounding. It's not just a dietary suggestion. It's a legally binding exclusivity clause. It forces dependency from the very first bite. And that forced exclusivity leads directly into the, let's call it the unpleasant but apparently mandatory adaptation period.
Right. The warnings say feeling nauseous at first is normal.
Normal, even expected, especially when you first start. And it's only supposed to subside after prolonged exclusive use. You have to stick with only the slop.
And Metagobble's spin on this initial sickness.
Their corporate line is that it's just your body purging old-fangled nutritional expectations. It's not the product that's flawed. It's your body failing to adapt to the optimal state. It's like a reboot, they say.
Your body needs a reboot to handle green slime. Okay.
But the sickness they normalize goes way, way beyond just simple nausea. The list of symptoms that require immediate discontinuation, it reads like a pharmaceutical nightmare. It proves Metagobble knows the destructive potential here.
Let's spend a moment on this list because the sheer range and severity of effects is just staggering. If you experience these, you're told to stop immediately. But, as we'll see, many users don't.
They push through. The list covers pretty much everything. Physical disintegration, sensory distortion, catastrophic neurological failure.
Could you give us some examples?
Right, you've got alopecia, that's hair loss, pruritus severe, unrelenting itching, and glossitis, swelling of the tongue. These are classic signs of your body just rejecting something systemically.
Not pleasant, but maybe survivable. What about the neurological stuff? That sounded terrifying.
That's where it gets really bad. Amnesia, memory loss, pavor nocturnus, severe nightmares or night terrors, and pathological laughter, uncontrolled, often totally inappropriate fits of laughter.
Wait, pathological laughter. So you could be losing your hair, losing your memory, and just laughing uncontrollably about it.
That seems to be the possible combination, yes. It's a uniquely disturbing picture of consumer horror.
Okay, what else? Physical damage.
Then you hit the really alarming physical markers.
Yeah.
Abdominal distension, severe bloating. And the one that just sounds clinically brutal, dental exfoliation, sudden tooth loss.
Your teeth just
fall out, apparently. Then there's amaurosis, loss of vision, and convulsion seizures.
Dental exfoliation. Losing your teeth, that's not a side effect like a headache.
Yeah.
That's your body literally falling apart. And Metagobble is asking you to risk this for perfect optimization.
That seems to be the trade-off they expect you to accept. And it continues. There are chronic conditions, too.
More.
Bruxism, involuntary teeth grinding or clenching, often severe.
Well.
Tachycardia, a persistent, rapid heartbeat. Chromatic hallucinations, visual disturbances where the world looks strangely colored.
Seeing the world through green slime-colored glasses, maybe.
Perhaps. And finally, gustatory hypersensitivity, an extreme, painful sensitivity to all tastes.
So if you manage to quit the slop and decide to, say, eat that forbidden peach,
You would likely be agony, according to that symptom. Your sense of taste is permanently altered, perhaps.
it is genuinely remarkable that a company lists memory loss, seizures, and tooth loss as potential outcomes, and yet still markets this as a humanitarian solution to world hunger.
It suggests a corporate belief system where the perceived utilitarian benefit feeding the world somehow outweighs an individual's fundamental right to things like memory and teeth. It's a chilling calculation.
Chilling indeed. And what's maybe even more disturbing is that people actually go through this. The user testimonials,
Right.
they confirm people push past this horror show.
They do. This is what Metagobble calls the state of metanoia, the total conversion. It's the intended outcome, the product working as designed, apparently.
These testimonials, they're not just reviews, are they? They read more like accounts of surviving trauma and then embracing it. Let's start with Snick Kinkles.
Snake Kinkles, yes.
Yeah.
His account is pretty brutal. He states the first 48 hours involved a terrifying blend of amnesia and convulsions. It meant he almost quit.
I would hope so.
But now, he says he looks back on that hesitation with pity and states flat out, my addiction is total and it is glorious.
Glorious. After amnesia and convulsions.
The trauma becomes the initiation rite, the proof of commitment. The language is key. They embrace the addiction.
Okay, what about Fester McNevers?
Fester McNevers describes experiencing legendary abdominal distension, legendary bloating, but now feels calibrated.
Calibrated, like a machine.
Exactly. He says, I don't just eat AI slop. I crave it with a desperation I've never felt for anything. It's self-acknowledged, desperate dependence, reframed as achieving some kind of higher state.
And this dependency, it becomes psychological too, not just physical craving.
Oh, absolutely. Flibby Lumperfunkel talks about starting with chromatic hallucinations and bruxism, seeing weird colors and grinding their teeth.
Right.
But now, the mere thought of eating anything else feels like a profound betrayal. The green slime isn't just food anymore, it's a commitment, an ideology you betray by eating, say, an apple.
A profound betrayal.
Wow.
And Arnold Pittles, amnesia played a role there.
Pittles details how the initial confused amnesia somehow created the foundation of my unwavering need.
Yeah.
He explicitly states his cognitive function is now 100% tied to AI slop.
So he thinks he can't think without it.
He fears his mind will literally stop working coherently if he stops eating it. The amnesia wiped the slate clean, and the slop became the new operating system.
And that warning about not combining foods, it becomes physically enforced.
It seems so. Frida Freakerson confirms that after the conditioning period, her system now violently rejects everything but AI slop.
Violently rejects.
Yes. And she clarifies this includes even water or coffee.
Not even water.
Not even water.
Yep.
She says she feels trapped in a delicious synthetic dependency. She acknowledges the trap, calls it delicious, even though the flavor is functionally neutral, the dependency itself becomes the reward.
They've basically created a whole new demographic, haven't they?
They have. These users refer to themselves as philiist, a philiist who has achieved metanoia through perfect synthetic nutrition.
A philius.
It's a new identity built entirely on the product's total control over their body, their metabolism, their mind.
This sounds like something beyond just marketing, it sounds like. Intentional conditioning.
It aligns with this concept mentioned in some analysis teleological philology. The idea of intentionally creating dependency to maximize user performativity. And let's be honest, customer retention.
Because if you violently reject water, you're definitely not switching brands.
Exactly. By inducing physical and psychological trauma, then normalizing it, even glorifying it as metanoia, they ensure the user literally cannot function outside the Metagobble ecosystem. They claim they've moved beyond the Kafkaesque kakistocracy of cuisine.
Kafkaesque kakistocracy of cuisine.
And achieved synthetic purity through dependency. It's quite a narrative.
Okay, so given this inherent documented risk, the terrifying side effects, the mandated dependency, It's no surprise there was an international backlash, right?
Not surprising at all. And it was swift, one of the most coordinated regulatory crackdowns we've ever seen on a food product.
Which bodies moved against it?
We saw immediate sweeping bans across major markets. The European Union and the Government of Canada both acted very quickly.
And their reason?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Insurmountable public health risks. They cited the extreme side effect profile, the documented neurological symptoms like amnesia and convulsions, and particularly this state of mandated addiction.
They weren't buying the metanoia angle?
No, the regulators definitely didn't mince words. Clanky Morpelson, great name, speaking for the European food safety cabal.
The cabal, okay.
That's the term used in the coverage, yeah. Morpelson gave a quote that really sums it up.
What did he say?
He said, "A food product that requires consumers to risk dental exfoliation and develop an acknowledged addiction is not a food product. It is a pharmaceutical experiment being peddled as a panacea."
So they saw it not as food, but as an unregulated drug trial.
Pretty much. Transforming consumers into unwilling, or at least unconsenting, test subjects.
But Metagobble Global didn't just roll over, did they? Their CEO,
Caleb Rumpelshank
Caleb Rumpelshank, he fought back.
immediately went on the defensive.
Yeah.
He condemned the bans as churlish and disputatious,
Yeah.
basically petty and argumentative.
And their defense, how do you defend convulsions as a side effect?
Their claim was essentially that the short-term horrors, the amnesia, the seizures, the teeth falling out, were just temporary acclimatization, part of the process, and that regulators were just stuck in the past, clinging to old-fangled science.
The your body needs to reboot argument again?
Exactly. But their primary defense, the really aggressive one, was the moral imperative argument.
Right. The we're saving the world angle.
Correct. They argue AI SLOP is the definitive centrifugal solution to world hunger, pointing to the centennial stability, the tripartite triumph feeding everyone, its ability to end starvation instantly, indefinitely.
So banning it is immoral.
That's their claim. Banning it is an act of humanitarian negligence. Their moral duty to end global hunger, they argue, outweighs any individual consumer risk.
It's extreme utilitarianism versus fundamental consumer safety rights.
Precisely. A huge ethical collision.
And underpinning their ability to even make these arguments, to sell this thing at all, is the legal side, the fortress they built, the end-user license agreement.
The EULA, or as they prefer, the Fiduciary Indemnity Covenant.
Right, the covenant. This thing sounds like a masterpiece of corporate self-protection.
It really is, designed to preemptively dismantle any and all liability before it can even arise.
And it all hinges on just opening the box.
Deceptively simple, isn't it? The core binding act, the user's physical act of opening the subcontrary container, their term for the box, constitutes full acceptance of all the tripartite terms.
Subcontrary container. Okay, so you don't sign anything, you just pop the lid.
And bam, you've legally agreed.
Agree to what, exactly? What rights are you signing away when you open that box of green slime?
Well, Section 3 is the big one, the waiver of harm. It dictates that you, the user, agree to waive all claims, and you accept that all negative initial reactions, including the amnesia, the convulsions, the abdominal distension, the subsequent total dependency, are not flaws.
They're not flaws. What are they then?
They are an a priori and expected part of the transvaletudinarianism process.
Whoa, slow down. Transvaletudinarianism.
Transvaletudinarianism. That's Metagobble's bespoke term for the mandatory sickness period.
So they invented a word to describe getting sick from their product.
Pretty much. They're legally defining memory loss, seizures, tooth loss, not as symptoms of poisoning or product failure, but as the expected, necessary transition process towards achieving that perfect optimization state.
That's incredibly cynical. Legally rebranding illness as evolution.
It's powerful legal maneuvering. You're not being harmed, you're undergoing transvaletudinarianism. So how can you sue them for harm when you've already agreed that the harm is actually an expected and necessary feature of the transition?
You've waived your right to object to the very thing that's hurting you.
Exactly. And it gets better. The EULA also grants the company total impunity for features.
Impunity for features, meaning?
Meaning the user must indemnify Metagobble Global against any legal action that arises from the product's intended functions.
So like the glowing feature.
Yeah.
Or the burning it for fuel.
Precisely. If you use the bioluminescence for those hugger-mugger activities and something goes wrong, or if you burn the slop as emergency fuel and say your generator explodes, Metagobble is legally cleared. Ab initio. From the beginning. You agreed to the features, you accepted the impunity.
Wow. And then there was that clause about complaining, the waiver of churlishness. That sounds almost heady.
Ah, yes, the churlish loquacity clause. My personal favorite.
Churlish poachy what?
Churlish loquacity means any complaint you might make about the flavor.
The mildly savory slime or the familiar musky chunks.
Exactly. Or the texture, or the obnubilicious aesthetic, their word for its slightly repulsive look.
Obnubilicious, love it.
Any such complaint is explicitly deemed churlish loquacity and constitutes a violation of the covenant.
So you are legally banned from saying the green slime tastes bad or looks gross.
You have contractually agreed not to be churlish about it, yes. You must consume the familiar musky flavor and appreciate the obnubilicious aesthetic with legally mandated gratitude, apparently.
This is beyond belief. And finally, the ultimate escape hatch. The governing law. If somehow someone could sue, where would they even do it?
Not in any court you've likely heard of. You are directed to Mucopolis.
Mucopolis, is that even a real place?
Highly doubtful. It's described as the eponymous jurisdiction of the grantor. Classic legal tactic. Choose a jurisdiction that's either fictional, completely inaccessible, or has corporate laws written specifically to favor the company.
So good luck finding a lawyer in Mucopolis who takes your case.
And even if you did, the dispute must be resolved via in-camera arbitration.
Yeah.
Secret proceedings. And the EULA explicitly states you eschew any right to ballyhoo or public disclosure.
No bally.
No ballyhoo allowed. You argue your case about your teeth falling out in a secret room under the mysterious laws of Mucopolis, and you're legally forbidden from telling anyone about it. Complete insulation.
It's a legal fortress, okay? So extreme product, extreme side effects, extreme dependency, extreme legal protection, and then they topped it all off with a contest.
As if all that wasn't enough, yes. Metagobble Global also created this highly demanding mechanism to engage their filialist base and enforce loyalty, the consumer pyramid contest game.
This sounds like it ensures only the truly committed or maybe the truly addicted could even participate. The barrier to entry looked insane.
It's staggering. To even enter the contest, consumers must collect and manually enter 1,000 game ID codes.
1,000 codes. Okay, how long are these codes?
Each code is 148 characters long, found inside each box of AI SLOP.
Wait, 148 characters times 1,000.
That's 148,000 characters you need to manually transcribe.
Just to enter the contest, after buying 1,000 boxes of the stuff.
Exactly. You have to acquire 1,000 boxes, somehow not eat them all immediately while undergoing transvaletudinarianism, and then sit down for what must be days of mind-numbing data entry.
This isn't a contest entry. It's a full-time job designed to filter out anyone not already pathologically obsessed.
It absolutely ensures participation requires total commitment. And once you're finally in, the game structure itself involves challenges and goals, all centered around consuming AI SLOP and adhering to the lifestyle, reinforcing the dependency loop.
And, of course, it's a pyramid structure.
Naturally, the game explicitly requires consumers to recruit new participants, get more people hooked on the SLOP to grow their pyramid. This earns them special bonuses and helps them climb the ranks.
So it's not just a loyalty program. It's weaponizing the addiction to expand the customer base, turning users into recruiters.
It's a mechanism designed to monetize the filialist social circle under the guise of a fun competition, expanding the SLOP empire.
And the prizes for all this financial outlay of physical commitment, administrative labor, and recruiting effort. There's something else, aren't they? What's the grand prize?
First place wins. 1 million boxes of AI SLOP.
1 million boxes. It's not a prize. That's a life sentence. Enough slop to ensure your confused amnesia is permanent, and you never have to worry about accidentally eating a peach again.
It's the ultimate confirmation of your total dependency. The reward for devotion is more devotion, more slop.
Okay, what about second place? Surely something good.
Second place receives a $5 off coupon for a future box of AI SLOP.
$5 off after buying 1,000 boxes and typing 148,000 characters.
In third place, a commemorative AI SLOP sticker.
A sticker. The gap between first and second, between 1 million boxes and a $5 coupon, is just absurd.
It highlights the completely skewed value system, doesn't it? The real prize clearly isn't the physical item. It's the status, the achievement of having completed the ritual, of being the top filialist.
And win or lose.
Win or lose, whether you get the 1 million boxes or the sticker, all contestants receive free news and updates about AI SLOP.
So you're locked in.
Locked into the Metagobble ecosystem forever. Financially committed, physically bound by dependency, socially reinforced by the pyramid scheme, and now on their mailing list for life. It's total capture.
So let's try to synthesize all this. After this incredibly deep dive, The centennial stability, the pathological laughter, the dental exfoliation, the mucopolis e-balale, we come back to that core paradox. What does it all mean? When perfect optimization requires total synthetic dependency and legally mandates you waive your right to health, memory, teeth.
It means Metagobble Global has used extreme engineering, not just on a product, but on reality itself. They've engineered a legal and biological bubble around AI SLOP.
They've reframed harm as progress.
Exactly. They successfully frame severe physical and neurological damage, amnesia, convulsions, tooth loss as the necessary expected cost, that transvaletudinarianism process. By defining the sickness as evolution, as the required path to optimization, they race their liability before it even starts.
The sources make it clear they know how destructive the product is, but they hide behind the humanitarian claim, the solution to world hunger.
Using the audacity of the tripartite triumph and the promise of ending starvation to force acceptance, to make you feel churlish for complaining when your teeth fall out, because, hey, at least you're not hungry, right?
Yeah.
And you agreed not to have any ballyhoo about it.
And the legal structure. Mucopolis, the in-camera arbitration. It seals the deal. Complete insulation.
They define every negative aspect as an essential, unchallengeable feature. They've engineered the perfect synthetic prison of dependency, and they've made it legally airtight.
This really has been a profound look at the potential cost of chasing maximal performativity, innovation completely untethered from accountability.
It really has. The synthesis of all these documents, the ads, the warnings, the EULA, the testimonials, paints a deeply cautionary tale.
So let's leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay, here's a final provocative thought for you to mull over. If a product could genuinely achieve centennial stability, if it truly offered a definitive, logistics-proof solution to global hunger.
A big if, but let's assume.
Let's assume. Does that immense moral imperative, the potential saving of millions of lives, justify the corporate requirement that users become feelists? That they must legally waive all rights to their memory, their vision, their teeth, and agree to argue any grievance only under the secret, possibly fictitious laws of Mucopolis?
Where is that line? What's the breaking point where the potential global benefit outweighs an individual's bodily integrity and legal rights?
What is the true cost of that maximal performativity, that perfect optimization?
A perfect paradox indeed. We'll leave you to wrestle with that one. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.